Hi y'all, this is Larry at Deep South Texas. It's December 2nd, and believe it or not, it's time to take another look at the garden. The brassicas are just doing great. These are the broccoli that I planted in the garden on November 1st, and they're huge. I started these seeds on October 1st, and then I up-potted them from my seed starting system to individual pots on the 1st of November, I believe. No, 3 weeks later, and then 10 days later I planted them in the garden on November 1st. And so they're been in the garden a month now, and they look great. The broccoli and cabbage. So I'm really impressed on how they're doing, and just hoping they get fully matured before we get a freeze. I think we're in pretty good shape here this year. And there are other plants that are just doing great as well. For instance, these bananas. They're a couple months earlier than they came on last year, and they're growing to a very nice size, so expecting a pretty nice harvest of bananas. This is the nicest bunch, but there are two more bunches back here, and they're doing fine as well. So I've redone my trellises this year. I put in cattle panels instead of the nylon string trellis that I've had in years past. Seem pretty sturdy, and I think they're going to do a pretty good job for me. And I have peas planted in these 3 beds that I have the cattle panels up for. Let's take a closer look at those, because they're looking pretty good too. So the peas are coming up well. They're starting to climb up the cattle panel. They're here on this end of the raised beds because they'll get a little bit more shade, and they'll need that before they're done because it gets pretty hot here, even in the spring. And not just the broccoli is doing well, the cabbages are as well. Looking good. I had to replant my onion seeds this year, but the second time they came up pretty good. Still a little thin, but we'll get some starts from the store here in January and fill in this bed. I did plant some of my bulbs left over from last year, small ones, to grow them out for seed, and some of them have already started producing flowers. I think that's a little bit early, but we'll take what we can get. Hopefully we'll get some fresh seed for next year. I planted this bed of carrots some time ago, and they germinated pretty well, but something's been in here digging in this bed, and unfortunately has disturbed most of the carrots, so I decided to plant another bed of carrots for this year. So this bed was planted a couple weeks ago, and we've got pretty good germination here, even though it was pretty cold and wet during that period of time. But hopefully these will not be disturbed. This raised bed is a little bit higher than that other one, so I don't know what was digging in there, but hopefully they won't be digging in here. I think my horseradish is ready to harvest. I think it's going to be a tough job harvesting out of that barrel, but hopefully before the next video, we'll get that done and see how it came out. One of the surprising plants we have this year is this Sugar Rush Peach pepper. So we're in the beginning of December and we're still getting peppers. Anytime we need something, we just come out and clip them off. They're doing great. And the same for this California Wonder bell pepper. The peppers are kind of small here in December, but there are a lot of them coming on. More than enough to meet our needs. The leeks I planted this year didn't make it. They germinated pretty well, but then, I don't know, we got some really hot weather, too much rain or something, and they all sort of died off. But the leftover leeks I have from last year, they're looking really happy. So I'll still get some leeks this year, and I may buy some starts as well. It was my intention to get this Moringa harvested in November, but it was just too cold and rainy. So we got quite a bit of it, but if I can get to it within the next week, I think I'll be okay. But some of the leaves are starting to turn a little bit yellow, so have to get right at it. The dill is looking great. It really seems to enjoy this cooler, wetter weather. And my turmeric and ginger, it's ready to harvest as well. I think I'm going to try to replant these in a little shadier spot for next year. And the other cabbages I planted over in this bed, and they're looking pretty nice as well. Pretty nice. Haven't really started heading up yet, but it looks like they're wanting to. My experimental potatoes, I think I planted these sometime in September, where it's still much too hot for potatoes here at Deep South Texas. Most of them are still alive, and at least one of them I know has potatoes on it. So expecting to get some new potatoes for Christmas dinner. The onion chives seem to be coming back to life with this cooler weather. And the garlic chives are just going crazy. I need to do something with these, and I've got something in mind. We'll see if we can do a video on that. And the gardening just keeps going here at Deep South Texas. I still need to plant my potatoes, and I plan to do that towards the end of the month of December. And that'll be probably the last thing I plant here. I want to get some garlic in the ground as well. So still a lot going on, a lot growing. And I think the last week of this month I might start some pepper seeds. And like the first week in January, I'll start tomato seeds. So lots to do, lots of fun ahead. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it that big thumbs up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.